Good morning, students. In our previous class, we have started this lesson number 5, rulers and buildings. In this, we have seen that what were the patterns used by the kings or his officers to make these buildings and why they used to make these buildings. First, we have read about Qutub Minar and who was built by Qutubuddin Aibak, and this first balcony, and under his first balcony we have seen the small arcs and geometrical designs, and these to make these type of construction means geometrical designs and arcs and all these type, and even the inscriptions were we have seen that the inscriptions was also written in Arabic language. So all this required a skilled craft person, that means very trained craft person who is well trained in these activities, that only can do this type of work. So we have further read that the Qutub Minar is 5 stories high, and the band of inscriptions under this balcony you have seen. The first floor was constructed by Qutubuddin Aibak, and the rest by it was built by Iltutmish around 1229. And due to the means lightning and earthquake, this building was damaged and further was constructed. That means the reconstruction was there, that it was repaired, we can say. That this building, after getting damaged by the lightning and earthquake, it was repaired by Alauddin Khilji, Muhammad Tughlaq, Firoz Shah Tughlaq, and Ibrahim Lodi. Then we have seen that kings had built these means buildings, the two kinds of structures. It can be divided into two types of structures, in which we have seen that first type of structure made by kings were the forts, palaces, garden, residence, and tombs. And the second type of structure they used to build for the uh, useful purpose of the public, for the public activity, we can say. That these things were temple, mosque, tanks, wells, caravanserais, and bazaars. The kings used to build these types of human facility things for to provide the facility to their subjects. To their subjects means to their the people on whom they were ruling, to comfort themselves, and even to get praise, to win the confidence of the people, and to be appreciated by its own people. Then further we have seen that engineering skills and construction, in which we have seen that the roof was made. In that early times, the roof was made by placing the beams or the slabs of the stones across the four walls. But the task was very difficult for the people to put these wooden beams or the slab stones across the four walls. And finally, when large rooms were made, many large rooms were made, and even many doors and windows were made, this type of same technique was used by putting horizontal beams across the two vertical columns, and the style was called as Trabeate, Trabeat, Trabeate or Corbold. So this was the name given to this style when placing the means horizontal beam across the two vertical columns. So this we have already understood in our previous class. Next, we have also seen that king used to construct the temple mosque, means the baulis were also constructed in these temples and mosques. The baulis were the large stepped walls, means stepped wells were there. कुएं होते थे जिनमें स्टेप्स थी, सीढ़ियाँ थी जो अंदर तक जाती थी वेल के अंदर, और फिर वो पानी निकालने के काम आता था कुआँ। तो दैट वाज कॉल्ड एज़ बाउलीज़। एंड फर्दर we have uh, we have seen about this the famous uh, we have read about the famous this Baudi, Rani Ji ki Baudi, which is called as Rani Ji ki Baudi. And this is located in Bundi in Rajasthan, and the largest among the 50 among the 50 step wells that were built to meet the needs of the water. Means it was built to build means to fulfill the needs of the water. At that time, the water and the need for the water was very much, and at that time, this type of baulis were constructed. Now, today we are going to start with temple construction in the early 11th century. Now, in early 11th century, what type of temple constructions were there? The Kendriya Mahadev temple dedicated to Shiva was constructed in 999 by the king Dhangadeva. Uh, you can underline this. The Kendriya Mahadev temple. This Kendriya Mahadev temple is dedicated to whom? Which god? It is dedicated to Shiva, and it was constructed in 999 by King Dhangadeva of Chandela dynasty. And who was King Dhangadeva? He was the ruler of Chandela dynasty, and he had built this Kendriya Mahadeva temple. And figure 3B is the plan of the temple. This 3B is the plan of the temple, how the temple should be constructed. An ornamented gateway led to an entrance and the main hall. Underline this. The ornamented gateway led to an entrance and the main hall Mahamandapa, where dances were performed. Now here in the entrance it was very much ornamented. Ornamented means decorated. The gateway was decorated and it led to the entrance, and the main hall was there, which was called as Mahamandapa. There was main hall which was called as Mahamandapa, where dances were performed. Now the image of chief deity was kept in the main shrine Garbhagriha, and a chief deity was kept in the main shrine called Garbhagriha. This was place for ritual worship where only king, his immediate family, and priest gathered. Now the image of chief deity means main god was kept in the main shrine, and that main shrine was called as Garbhagriha. So Mahamandap was the main hall where dances were performed, and the Garbhagriha was the place, or what was the main shrine. Garbhagriha was the main shrine where the ritual was performed by the king and his family members, plus the priests were also used to gather in that Garbhagriha to perform the ritual. Now Khajuraho complex contained royal temples where commoners were not allowed entry. That means the Khajuraho complex contained royal temples. Now Khajuraho complex many temples are there where common people were not allowed. Only the king, the king's family, the ruler's family, and the priests were allowed to perform the rituals to enter the temple. Rest, nobody, the no common person was allowed in that temple. So the temples were decorated with elaborately carved sculptures. So the sculptures were made in the carved shape. So these temples were very much beautifully decorated, which were used by the king, his family, and the priest. Now, figure 4, the Raja Rajeshwara temple at Tanjavur had the tallest shikara amongst temple of its time. Now, when Raja Rajeshwara temple was built at that time, this Raja Rajeshwara temple has the tallest shikara. It has the tallest shikara amongst temple of its time. Means whatever, whichever temples were made at the time when Raja Rajeshwara temple at Tanjavur was built, at that time, the shikara means the topmost area which was built, means it was the tallest among the temples which was built at the time of Raja Rajeshwara temple. It was not easy because there were no cranes in those days, and 90-ton stone for the top of Shikara was too heavy to lift manually. So to build such a tallest means to put such a tallest Shikara on that temple, it was not an easy task for the people, because in those days no cranes were there. As you see nowadays, so many machineries are available, for the different types of construction work. But in those days, older days, no such type of machinery was there, no cranes were there to lift the such heavy 90-ton stones to the top of the shikara here. And it was not also, it cannot be lifted by manually. Manually means it cannot be lifted by human beings also. So the architect built an inclined path to the top of the temple. That means to take this 90-ton stone to make the shikara on the top of the temple. The architects made the inclined path. Path means the path, the way to reach the shikara in an inclined position, the sloping position there. And then it placed a boulder on rollers and rolled it on the way to top. Then these big boulders of the stone were placed on the rollers, and then that stone was rolled to the top of the temple. The path started more than 4 kilometers away, so that it would not be too steep. So the inclined path which was made, it was 4 kilometers away from the temple which was built already. It was 4 kilometers away, and then in this way we can say, like if the shikara is to be built here, the stone has to be taken till here. Then at that time no machinery, no cranes and all were there, and that case, at that time, a type of path means this type of path was made, and in which the boulders the stone boulders were put, and it was put on the rollers, and then slowly it was taken to the top by rolling these boulders. And thus we can say that this type of shikara, the tallest shikara, was built on Raja Rajeshwara temple. And this the means uh, this was 4 kilometers away from this path, this inclined path which was built near this Rajarajeshwara temple was 4 kilometers away, so that it would not be too steep, एकदम सीधा ना होकर थोड़ा सा inclined है रहे और easy going रहे, इसीलिए तो 4 किलोमीटर दूर ये पाथ बनाया गया. Then further we have seen that this was dismantled after the temple was constructed. Means this path which was made, it was dismantled, it was again destroyed completely. This path was destroyed after the temple was built, constructed fully. And then residents of the area remembered the experience of the construction of the temple for the long time. Now how this construction of the temple was going on, whosoever people, those who were living nearby, near that area, near the temple area, they all witness this making of the temple, this construction of the temple, that how this temple with the tallest shikara was built at that time. Even now, village near the temple is called Charupalam, the village of the incline. So the village which is the area near this temple, which is a village now, it is also called as Charupalam. Now the word Charupalam means village of the incline. That is why accordingly the name is also given, that around the temple, the village, whatever whichever village is there, that village is named as Charupalam, just because it was used, that temple was made with the help of the inclined path, and that is why the village was also named as Charupalam, that is village of incline. Now, next is two technological and stylistic development are noticeable from the 12th century. Now, from the 12th century, two stylistic development are noticeable in these buildings, in these constructions made by the king. First, the technological stylistic development was The weight of the superstructure above the doors and the windows were sometimes carried by the arcs. So, the weight of the superstructures above the doors and the windows were carried by the arcs. In this arc position, it was, and this architectural form was called as arcuate. As this was in the shape of the arc, this structure, the doors and windows, the above the doors and the windows, this arc structure was made, and that is why it was called as arcuate. This type of this style of technology was called as arcuate. The true arc, the keystone at the center of the arc, transferred the weight of the superstructure to the base of the arc. That means the keystone was put in the center of the arc, and that transferred the weight of the superstructure to the base of the arcs. Now, true arc detail from the Alai Darwaza, early 14th century, Kuwait al Islam Mosque, Delhi. Now, this is Kuwait al Islam Mosque, Delhi. This is the Alai Darwaza made early 14th century. And here also you can see the true arc detail, that is, the keystone is kept here, and the rest, the center of the arc, transferred the weight to the superstructure till the base. Second technological, stylish technological development was the limestone cement was increasingly used in the construction. Now, second thing was that the use of the limestone in the construction was increasing day by day. This was very high quality cement. And now, what was this limestone cement? Limestone cement was the high quality cement which, when mixed with stone chips, hardened into concrete. एक तरीके से बहुत ज़्यादा वो हार्ड हो जाती थी जब वो मिक्स की जाती थी स्टोन चिप्स पे. दिस मेड कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ द लार्ज स्ट्रक्चर easier and faster. And take a look at the construction site of figure 6. Now this figure 6, the painting from Akbar Nama is there, dated, showing the construction of Watergate at the Agra Fort. Now this is the Agra Fort showing, and it is the painting which shows the Akbar Nama and the construction work of the Watergate. Now, this made the construction of the large structures, such type of structure, easier and faster. So, what made the construction of large structure easier and faster? The limestone cement work. Now building temples, mosques, and tanks. Temple and mosques were beautifully constructed because they were places of worship. Now, king used to construct these temple and mosques in very beautiful way, because they were the places of worship, and they were also meant to demonstrate power, wealth, and devotion of the pattern. Now, these temples and mosques were built very beautifully to demonstrate that the power of the to show that the king is very powerful, very wealthy, and is a great devotee of the god. And that is why these temple and mosque were built. Take an example of Raja Rajeshwara temple. An inscription mentions that it was built by King Raja Deva for the worship of his god Raja Rajeshwaram. So this we have seen that Raja Rajeshwara temple is built by whom? King Raja Deva. So Raja Rajeshwara temple was built by King Raja Deva, and this was this temple was built to worship which god? To worship Raja Rajeshwaram. So God is Raja Rajeshwaram, king who built is Raja Deva, and temple name given is Raja Rajeshwara. So notice how the names of the rulers and the god are similar. So very similar. At that time, whosoever, whichever king used to build these temples and mosque, their the name of that temple used to be very similar to the name of the king who built that temple or mosque. The king took the god's name because it was auspicious and he was to appear like a god. Now, the king also took the name of the god because he thought that he is like a god to his subjects, to his people. Through the ritual of worship in the temple, one god, Raja Rajadeva, honored another, that is Raja Rajeshwara. Now, according to the king, he himself thinks that he was like a god to his subjects, to his people, and that is why through his rituals, through his ceremonies, or which were performed in the temple, the king used to worship the god, honor the god, respect god uh, to another. Means the king used to give the respect. One god means it shows in the temple that one god is giving respect to another god. Now, one god who is giving respect is the king himself, as a god to his subjects, and he used to give honor or respect to another god, that is the true god which has made the whole world. The largest temple were all constructed by kings. The other lesser deities in the temple were gods and goddesses of the allies and subordinates of the rulers. That means the largest, the biggest temple was made by the king itself, and the other smaller temples were also made. Uh, means other also smaller temples were made of uh, different god and goddesses by the allies and the subordinate of the rulers. Allies means those who were involved in ruling the administration of the king with the king himself. Those people who were involved in the ruling the empire. Those people plus the subordinates who were working under the kings. So these people also make different temples of their own god and goddesses. Means they used to build the smaller temples of their god and goddesses. वो अपने खुद के मीन्स जो किंग की हेल्प करते थे, जो किंग के अंडर काम करते थे, उनके अलग टेम्पल थे छोटे, वो अपने देवी देवताओं के अलग टेम्पल्स बनाते थे. The temple was miniature model of the world ruled by the king and his allies. Now the temple was the model of the world which was ruled by the king and his allies and his uh, people who supported him. Allies means the people, the other king who used to support the big, bigger king. As they worshipped their deities together in the royal temple, it seemed as if they brought the just rule of gods on earth. Means as they used to worship their deities, जैसे जैसे वो अपने देवी देवताओं को पूजा करते थे रॉयल टेम्पल्स में, बड़े टेम्पल्स में, इट सीम ऐसा लगता था जैसे दे वांटेड टू ब्रिंग द जस्ट रूल ऑफ द गॉड ऑन द अर्थ. मीन्स सबको एक तरीके से अच्छा रूल लाने की वो कोशिश कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर ज़मीन पर. Muslim sultans and padshahs did not claim to be incarnations of God, but Persian court chronicles describe the sultan as shadow of God. Now, Muslim God and uh, padshahs did not claim themselves that they are the shadow of the God. They are the worshippers of the God. We can say that वो उनकी परछाई है, ऐसा नहीं बोलते थे मुस्लिम सुल्तान्स, but the पर्शियन कोर्ट क्रॉनिकल्स, द पर्शियन कोर्ट में जो उस टाइम पे जो वो राइटर्स थे, हिस्टोरियंस थे, वो उन सुल्तान्स को, मुस्लिम सुल्तान्स को शेडो ऑफ गॉड करके डिनोट करते थे कि वो एक तरीके से भगवान की परछाई है. मुस्लिम सुल्तान्स और पादशाह अपने आप को नहीं करते थे, बट जो वहाँ के उस टाइम के राइटर्स थे, जब मुस्लिम सुल्तान्स रूल करते थे, पादशाह Pashas was also the means title given to the rulers, Muslim rulers. Pashas was the title given to Muslim rulers. So मुस्लिम सुल्तान और पादशाह अपने आप को भगवान का दूत नहीं समझते थे, बट जो क्रॉनिकल्स, जो हिस्टोरियंस उनके कोर्ट में काम करते थे, दे यूज टू डिस्क्राइब देम एज शेडो ऑफ गॉड. An inscription in Kuwait al-Islam mosque explained that God who chose Aladdin as the king because he had the qualities of Moses and Solomon, the great lawgiver of the past. Now, according to them, according to the inscriptions which were written. in these buildings, in these temples, it shows that the God has himself chosen Alauddin as the king. Alauddin was a king, and God has chosen Alauddin as a king because he, Alauddin, had the qualities of Moses and Solomon. Moses and Solomon, who were Moses and Solomon? Moses and Solomon were the great lawgivers of the past. Moses and Solomon is the name of the great lawgiver जो कि लॉ बनाते थे, रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस बनाते थे, कानून, बहुत अच्छा कानून बनाते थे, एंड दैट इज व्हाई this Alauddin has the qualities of Moses and Solomon, and that is why he has been made the king by the God itself. Now, the greatest lawgiver and architect was God himself. Now, according to this, the people, the greatest lawgiver, कानून बनाने वाले सबसे बड़े तो भगवान खुद हैं. But Moses and Solomon were also the people who used to give this uh, laws, made rules and regulations, just rules and regulations. He created the world out of chaos and introduced law, order and symmetry. Means everybody is equal, and this was given by the God itself. Now here, plan of Jami Masjid built by Shahjahan in his new capital at Shahjabad, 1650 to 1656. This is the plan of sorry Jami Masjid given here, and this Masjid was built by Shahjahan in his new capital Shahjabad. Now, as each new dynasty came to power, king wanted to emphasize their moral right to be the rulers. Now, king emphasized, had laid stress that the new dynasty, when it came to the power, the king wanted to show that it is the moral right of the rulers of the king to be the rulers of the on the subjects, constructing places of worship provide rulers with the chance to proclaim their close relationship with the God. Now, as king used to construct these places of worship, they used to show that they had the close relationship with the God, especially important in the age of rapid political change. Rulers also offered patronage to the learned and pious and tried to transform their capitals and cities into great cultural centers that brought fame to their rule and their realm. That means the rulers uh, um, uh, gave patronage. They means emphasized more to the learned and holy. Pious means holy people, the saint people. They used to, the rulers used to encourage these learned and holy people, and they also, the rulers also tried to transform their capitals and cities into the great cultural centers. Means whatever capitals these rulers were having at that time of their empire, the capitals were transformed into the cities of great cultural centers, and this brought them to their rule, means great fame to their rule in their realm. Means whole world, they were appreciated for this work. For what work they were appreciated? To encourage the learned and saint people, holy people, and even to transform their capital into big cultural centers. This made this brought the great fame, great respect, great honor of that particular ruler in the whole world. It was widely believed that the rule of the just king would be an image of plenty when the heavens would not withhold rain. Now it was believed that the rule of a good king, just king means good king, who used to think of his subjects, benefit of the subjects of his people. So the people believe that the rule of the just king would be an age of plenty when the heavens would not withhold rain. That means एक तरीके से जैसे बोलते हैं ना वो, बारिश बारिश जब होती है तो we it is a type of blessings we can say So it was believed that a rule of the just king, एक अच्छे राजा का रूल एक तरीके से ब्लेसिंग के रूप में है। जैसे बादलों पे कभी वर्षा नहीं रुक सकती, इस तरीके से जैसे भगवान हमें बारिश के रूप में ब्लेसिंग्स दे रहा है, इसी टाइप से एक जस्ट रूल, जस्ट किंग का रूल भी इसी टाइप से है, ब्लेसिंग के रूप में जो भगवान ने उन्हें दिया है लोगों को। At the same time, making precious water available by constructing tanks and reservoirs was highly praised. Now, the king used to build the reservoirs, tanks also, which was very much appreciated by its people, by the uh, people of its empire. Now, Sultan Iltutmish won universal respect for constructing a large reservoir just outside Delhi, Khwana. It was called Hauz-e-Sultani or King's Reservoir. Now, Sultan Iltutmish also had attained a great respect, a universal respect, just because he had constructed a large reservoir. Reservoir is the, we can say, the place to reserve the water, to collect the water. That is called a large reservoir. And this Sultan Iltutmish has constructed the large reservoir to collect the water, and that is outside the Delhi-e-Khwana, and it was also called as Hauz-e-Sultani, and in English it is called as King's Reservoir. Means the king had made this reservoir एक तरीके से जहाँ पर पानी अक्यूमुलेट करके रख सकते थे, ताकि जब कभी भी लोगों को या किंग के रूल में एम्पायर में पानी की ज़रूरत हो तो वो इस किंग्स रिजर्वायर में से पानी काम में ले सकते थे। कैन यू फाइंड इट मैप 1 इन चैप्टर 3? Rulers often constructed tanks and reservoirs big and small. Many big and small tanks and reservoirs used to be built by the kings just to get the respect in the eyes of the people that yes, the king is taking care of his subject in a true way. Now, sometimes these tanks and reservoirs were the part of the temple mosque. That means when the king used to build the temples and the mosques, even the small reservoirs used to be constructed in these temple and mosque, or the gurudwara, that is the place of worship. These place of worship of the congregation for the Sikh gurudwara was the place of worship, and the congregation for Sikhs means the Sikh, the people of Sikh religion used to gather here, used to worship their god. And the means these type of small tanks were used to built by the king, used to be constructed by the king in these temple, mosque, and these religious places also. Now this is Harmandir Sahib. Now you can see in figure 8 Harmandir Sahib, that is golden temple with the holy Sarovar tank in Amritsar. Now this is the holy Sarovar tank in Amritsar, and it is the golden temple. And this way the tank in Amritsar, that means the reservoir in the temple, golden temple, is also built. We can see this as an example. Now, why were temples targeted? Mostly, whenever one king used to show its supremacy, want to enlarge its territories, first and foremost, they used to target these temples which were made by the other king, and its means other kings and the smaller subordinates and all. So, whenever the king wanted to enlarge his territories, the first thing they used to target was to make the target on the temples. They wanted to means capture the temple of the other rulers. And why this happened, now we'll come to know in this. Because king built temples to demonstrate their devotion to God and their power and wealth, it is not surprising that when they attacked another kingdoms, they often targeted these buildings. Now, as we have read earlier in this lesson, that these kings used to uh, construct the temples to demonstrate the devotion, the power, and wealth. That means how powerful, how wealthy, how devoted the king is. That is why the king used to build the temples at that time. Now, whenever, now it is not surprisingly, it is means it is not great surprise to hear if we find that the king used to target these buildings means these temples, because these uh, one kingdom used to target the buildings, the temple buildings of the another kingdom. Why? Because at that time these temples were were shown as to demonstrate the devotion of God, power, and wealth, and that is why the king used to the uh, king used to attack the another kingdom and used to attack, target the temples only, so as he captured the temple of the another kingdom. That shows that the particular king who had built that temple is the under his supremacy now. Now in the early ninth century means अगर हम देखते हैं कि एक राजा दूसरे राजा पर अपनी टेरिटरीज इंक्रीज करने के लिए अगर अटैक करता तो वो सीधा इन टेम्पल्स को अटैक करता था, बिकॉज ये टेम्पल उस वक्त पावर और वेल्थ शो करते थे एक पर्टिकुलर किंग का। अगर एक तरीके से उन्होंने उस टेम्पल को अटैक करके अपने टेरिटरी में मिला मिला लिया तो दैट मीन्स दैट किंग was defeated by that, but the king uh, who had taken that particular temple, who had attacked that temple. In the early ninth century, when the Pandya king Srimara Sri Vallabha invaded Sri Lanka and defeated King Sena I, the Buddhist monk Sena I in Itata, the Buddhist in 831 to 851, the Buddhist monk and chronicler Dhamkiti noted. He removed all the valuables, the statue of Buddha made entirely of gold and jewel palace and the golden images in the various monasteries, as you have read earlier that these kings these temples were built with means great orientation was done बहुत ज़्यादा उसमें अच्छी चीज़ें लगाई जाती थी। द टेम्पल वॉज वेरी मच means were having very much valuable things in that. So when Sena I, that is the Buddhist monk, and the chronicler Dhamketi noted that he removed all the valuables, the statue of Buddha made entirely of gold in the jewel palace and the golden image in the various monasteries, all these he seized. मतलब अपने कब्जे में ले लिया था इन्होंने। जैसे ही अटैक किया तो ये सब चीजें अपने कब्जे में ले ली। सीज मीन्स अपने कब्जे में ले ली। The blow to the pride of Sinhala's rulers had to be avenged. The next Sinhala ruler, Sneha II, uh, Sena II, ordered his general to invade Madurai, the capital of Pandyas. Now, next time, when these first, previously we have seen that Sinhala ruler first of all had means these temple was invaded by the Pandyas, and then in the second attack, Sinhalas attacked the Madurai, the capital of Pandyas. Now, Buddhist chronicler noted that the expedition made a specific efforts to find and restore the gold statue of the Buddha. Now, this was the main thing that the main expedition, main attack was made to with a special effort to find to place this gold statue, which was taken from this. Uh, from this temple, that is in the early ninth century when Pandya king Srimara Sri Vallabha invaded Sri Lanka and defeated the king, that is Sina I. Now Sina I was invaded uh, एंड जो टेम्पल इन्होंने किंग ने बनाया था वो पांड्या किंग ने अपने कब्जे में ले लिया था। अब वापस से सिन्हेला ने पांड्या पे अटैक किया एंड उनका मेन अटैक का कारण ये था कि वापस से अपनी जो बुद्धिस्ट अपनी जो गोल्ड स्टैच्यू है बुद्धा की, वो अपने वापस से अपनी जगह पर रेस्टोर करना, वापस से ले करके उनसे, और जहाँ से उन्होंने ली थी उसी जगह वापस से रिस्टोर करना। तो सिमिलरली इन द अर्ली 11th century when the Chola King Rajendra I built the Shiva temple in his capital. He filled it with prize statue seized from defeated ruler. अब जो भी defeated ruler से जो भी टेम्पल्स में से मूर्तियां वगैरह जो ली जाती थी, अपने कब्जे में ले ली जाती थी, तो फिर वो डिफीटेड रूलर्स के से जो चीज स्टैचूज वगैरह कीमती स्टैचूज वगैरह ली जाती थी, वो खुद के राजा अपने टेम्पल्स में प्लेस कर देता था। An incomplete list included a sun pedestal from the Chalukyas, the Ganesha statue, and several statues of Durga, the Nandi statue from the eastern Chalukyas, the image of Bhairava, the form of Shiva, the Bhairavi from the Kalingas of the Orissa, and the Kali statue from the Palas of the Bengal. So, in the early 11th century, we have seen that this Chola king Rajendra I built a Shiva temple in his capital, and in this Shiva temple, he has placed all these statues which he seized, जो उसने छीन ली थी अपने डिफीटेड रूलर से, जिन जिनको उसने डिफीट किया अटैक में, उनसे जो मूर्तियां जो चीजें उनके टेम्पल से जो उसने अपने कब्जे में कर ली थी, वो चोला किंग राजेंद्र वन ने अपने शिवा टेम्पल बना करके उसमें प्लेस कर दिया। तो Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni was a contemporary of Rajendra I. So Rajendra I, Mahmud of Ghazni was at that time also, and during his campaign in the subcontinent, he attacked the temples of defeated kings and looted their wealth and idols. और महमूद गजनी भी यही उनकी एक्टिविटी थी कि वो अटैक करते थे टेम्पल्स पे, उन राजाओं को डिफीट करते थे, और उनकी जितनी भी वेल्थ थी, उनकी जितनी भी टेम्पल्स में आइडल्स और स्टैच्यूज प्लेस थी, वो सब अपने लूट करके ले जाते थे। और सुल्तान महमूद वाज नॉट a very important ruler at that time, but by destroying temples, especially the one at Somnath. Now, Mahmud of Ghazni was not an important ruler at that time, but he was an invader. वो एक जगह एक रूलर को दूसरे मीन्स डिस्ट्रॉय करते थे, वो टेम्पल्स पर अटैक करते थे, और उन रूलर्स को डिफीट करके उनकी सारी टेम्पल्स की जो चीजें थी वो अपने साथ लेकर लूट के साथ लेके जाते थे। एंड एक एग्जांपल है वन एट सोमनाथ, ही ट्राई टू विन क्रेडिट विद एज अ ग्रेट हीरो ऑफ इस्लाम, और उन्होंने एक अपने टेम्पल सोमनाथ की टेम्पल उन्होंने लूटा था, और वहाँ की सारी चीजें भी वो लूट कर ले गए थे। In the political culture of Middle Ages, most rulers displayed their political might and military success by attacking and looting and places of worship of the defeat rulers. And in this way, we can see that this type of means attack to the rulers, this type of attack on the temples which were made by the rulers were just made to display the strength, the military success of that particular ruler. Now that's all for today. I hope this much is understood clearly. If any doubt, you can ask me whether now in the next class, whether video uploading or live class will be there. We will start from this topic, garden, tombs and forts. Till then, read the lesson till here, and whatever you are not able to follow, you can ask me in a next class. That's all for today. Thank you. Take care.